One might ask himself, if Hashem really loves us, so how come Hashem put upon us so many restrictions? As a Jew, we're obligated to do 248 mitzvot, and at the same hand, we have 365 things that we're not allowed to do. We have so many restrictions upon us, so many things that we're not allowed to do. And at the same time, we have so many mitzvot that we're obligated to do. So one might ask himself, someone who loves somebody, won't he give him all the good? Won't he not obligate him to do anything? Will he restrict him from doing something? It seems like if someone loves somebody, he would allow him to do everything as a free man. So if Hashem, who's called Avinu Av Rachaman, Hashem who loves us and is so merciful, he gives upon us restrictions. He tells us, don't do this and don't do that. Rather do this and do that. It seems at face value that it's not coming from love. But we know that it is. So if Hashem really loves us, which we believe that he does, how come he gave us so many restrictions? How come he told us don't do this and don't do that? And at the same hand, he obligated us to do so many things. At first glance, it seems that someone who has less restrictions upon him is someone who's free and happy. And someone who has more restrictions upon him, someone who is able to do less, at face value, at first glance, would seem that he's less happy. However, the truth is not like that. The truth is that someone who lives a life of freedom, a life with no obligation, doesn't mean necessarily that he's happy. On the other hand, someone who accepts on himself the yoke of Shamayim, someone like that would seem to be sad. That's not necessarily true. We know someone who accepts on himself the yoke of Torah can be the happiest man on earth. And someone who lives as a free man with no obligations can be the saddest man on earth. The question is why? It would seem the opposite. It would seem that if we're restricted and we can't do, we should be unhappy. And if we could do as much as we want, we should be happy. But it's not like that. What's the secret that lies under these lines? The answer is, it all depends on our outlook and how much we appreciate what we have. A person who appreciates what he has is a person who's happy. A person who's always looking for more is a person who's unhappy. A parent who spoils his child, for example. He gives him everything he needs. He assumes that the more I give my child, the happier he'll be. One day his child goes against him. The parent comes and complains. He says, I did everything for my son. I did everything for my child. I gave him everything he wanted. And now he turns his back on me? The answer is that the child took everything for granted. He didn't appreciate what the parent gave him. He thought everything belongs to him and he deserves everything. So the minute that he's missing, the minute he doesn't have what he thought belonged to him, he becomes sad. He gets upset. However, a person who is restricted, a person who, for example, his parents did not spoil him. His parents gave him what he needed, but did not excessively give him things that he wanted, but did not need. A child like this will grow up appreciating his parents. A child like this appreciates what he has because he knows and he believes and he understands that not everything belongs to him. Us as a Jewish nation, Hashem wanted us to be happy. So Hashem said, you know how you're going to be happy? If you appreciate what you have. If I allow you to be a free man and do whatever you want, you'll take everything for granted. So the minute that it doesn't go your way, the minute that everything is not going your way, you're sad. However, if we understand that everything we have, we actually don't deserve. Instead, Hashem is giving it to us as a present. So then we appreciate it. So in essence, restriction brings to appreciation. And appreciation brings to happiness. The fact that we're restricted is actually the secret of happiness. If we were to have everything we wanted, or if we would be able to do everything we wanted to do without any restrictions, so then the minute something would not go our way, we pass it away. The minute something doesn't go our way, we get upset and we feel down. But if we're restricted, Hashem said, I'm restricting you. You can't do this. You know why? Because in essence, I love you. You know how you know that I truly love you? Is because I don't give you everything you want. A child who gets everything, he becomes spoiled. If Hashem would give us everything we wanted, we would become spoiled. Instead, Hashem says, I love you. I want you to go in the right way. I want you to appreciate everything you have. Therefore, when I give you the holidays, I give you the days of simcha, I give you the days of happiness, you actually appreciate it. So restriction brings appreciation, and appreciation ultimately brings happiness.